style of cuisine refers to food that's from northern China, Beijing in particular. Today on Spicebox, I will show you how to make Peking style hot and sour soup. A beautiful assortment of mushroom, bamboo shoot, tofu are simmered in a mildly sour and spicy stock. Let's look at the ingredients that we will require today. We start with vegetable stock. Now you can make this at home, or you could use vegetable bouillon cubes that you get in the markets. Just dissolve 1 or 2 in about 3 cups of water. Next we will require spring onions. We'll require the white parts and the green parts. We'll need about half a cup of each. We'll need 3 to 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of green chilies that have been sliced. I'll need about 1/4 of a cup chili sauce, 2 to 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, half a cup of tofu, 2 to 3 tablespoons of coriander leaves. These are bamboo shoots that we have cut and boiled. Salt and pepper to taste, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of sugar, vinegar, and a tablespoon each of ginger and garlic minced. Finally, the star of our ingredient are mushrooms. These are called oyster mushrooms and they have a wonderful meaty texture. We will start by heating our pan and adding some oil. We'll need about 2 to 3 teaspoons of oil. Next, go in the ginger and garlic. Now, Peking style of cuisine uses a lot of ginger root and garlic. The stronger the flavor, the better. So just mildly let this cook for just a minute or 2. We don't need to brown it, we just want it to infuse its flavor into the oil. Next, go in our green chilies. Now you can add how much ever you like. I like my hot and sour soup a tad bit spicy, so I'm going to add more of the green chilies. Next, go in our tofu. Now all I have done is taken the tofu, drained the water and cut them into small pieces. Tofu doesn't really have a flavor of its own. When I put it in the oil that is flavored with the garlic and ginger, it has a wonderful texture and flavor. So we will just cook this for a minute or 2. Next, go in a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, give it all a good stir. And now we're going to add the white parts of a spring onion. I'm going to use about half and reserve some for garnish. Now we're going to cook this in stages. We're going to let this cook for just a minute, and once it becomes translucent, we're going to add few coriander leaves. Now we will be adding coriander leaves in 2 or 3 stages so that it gives a wonderful flavor and it really enhances the dish tremendously. Perfect. Just look at that, it is so beautiful. Next, we're going to add our bamboo shoots. Now I have them in big pieces. You could cut them finely if you like. If you can't find bamboo shoots where you live, that's okay, you don't need to use it. Now let this sit for just a minute or 2. While our bamboo shoots and tofu are cooking in the infused oil, we'll go ahead and cut the mushrooms. Now, the thing with button mushrooms or oyster mushrooms is you should not clean it in water. Just use a damp cloth or tissue paper and then just wipe any dust or dirt that might be out. Now all you need to do is cut them into large pieces. We will add this towards the end of the dish because we don't want it to overcook and lose its wonderful meaty texture or color or flavor. So just look at them, how beautiful. If you don't find oyster mushrooms, that's okay. Regular button mushrooms work just as well. Perfect, our mushrooms are done. I'll just put them back in the bowl. And next, we'll move everything around and see, this just looks so perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of the spring onion greens. Mix it in well. And this is the chili sauce we have. This is really what's going to give a lot of flavor to the stock. Add a little bit of sugar. Now sugar is not, you're not going to taste the sweetness, but what it does is it balances out the flavor of the vinegar and the soy sauce that we're going to add. Next, just a teaspoon of the soy sauce. and vinegar. Now vinegar is really essential because you need to use this to make the sour part of the dish. If you don't have vinegar, you could even use lime juice, and if you're able to find rice wine vinegar, which is what they traditionally use in China, then that would be perfect because it has an additional flavor that regular vinegar doesn't have. Again, I'm going to add some more of the coriander leaves. Now what we have done is we've created the flavor base for our soup. Next we'll add the stock and let it come to a boil. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes. Our soup has almost come to a boil. Until then, we'll go ahead and make our cornstarch slurry. Now the beauty of the soup is you can have it broth style, which is very thin, or you can make it thick by adding more cornstarch. I like my soup a little bit on the thick side, the hot and sour soup, so I'm going to make it slightly thick. If you ever visit China, you'll realize that Beijing is in the northern part and it's always very cold. So they have wonderful hot soups, hot noodles, spicy broths. So it keeps you nice and warm, and this dish is perfect for winter weather or on a day when you want to eat something nice and spicy. So our slurry is made and I'm going to bring the soup up to a boil. I'm going to add our mushrooms. Remember, you shouldn't cook these mushrooms too long. Just add them towards the end. Just look at these beautiful mushrooms. They're going to add so much more dimension and flavor, and they have this nice meaty texture. So if you feel like eating chicken, then this is a good substitute. And now I'm going to add the slurry. Keep stirring until the cornstarch thickens the soup. This should take about a minute or two. It's almost thickened. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the spring onion greens, a little bit of the white parts, some more cilantro. It's also called coriander leaves. And the Chinese have something called that they call the Chinese cilantro or Chinese coriander, which is kind of a cross between parsley and coriander. As you can see, our soup has thickened and I'm going to turn it off so that we can serve it. We're ready to serve our soup. So take a nice, beautiful soup pot or tureen. This smells so wonderful. I hope you will make this soon. It's just smelling too good in here. Serve your soup in a nice pretty bowl. Now add some of the spring onion green parts, little bit of the coriander leaves, and you're all ready to serve this. And now if you would like, you could always add extra green chilies on top as well. The beauty about this dish is that you can make a double batch and serve it the next day, because I promise you it tastes even better the next day.